I like don't mean it as a joke, and I know it sounds so crazy, like to me too, but I think it's like so doable. Is we can watch the podcast tomorrow and I'll go more into detail about it, but I really would love to run for House of Representatives here in California. And I do have some bills I would like to present to Congress.
Since we're governed by clowns anyway, for the most part, they might as well be like fun clowns. We got to check in with one of my favorite people on the internet. Though let's say favorite with the grain of salt attached that she's absolutely crazy. And I don't agree with her on all hosts of things, but I love me a messy woman. I love me a chaotic woman. And Trisha Paytas is that. She's a YouTuber, she's a podcaster, she's a star influencer. And if there's a few things that Trisha is in no short supply of, it is fans and Delulu. Like, I don't know what else to call the supreme levels of confidence this woman has, because her primary claim to fame is doing crazy stuff on the internet for attention. It's funny, like she has a lot of woke fans, but she actually has a very problematic past. I don't really care about any of that because I think people grow, they change, they evolve, times change. Judge people based on who they are here and now, not like the most offensive YouTube skit they did 15 years ago. But it is kind of funny. One thing I never thought, especially because she's said so much dumb stuff over the years, she doesn't even know anything about anything in terms of like serious stuff, though she's entertaining, to be clear. Like there's this one clip of Trisha, I'll try to find it and insert her, where she like came out as transgender, but also said she still identifies as her biological it makes no sense. Listen.
Do I think I'm transgender? Yes, 1,000%. Do I identify with my natural born gender? 1,000%.
Anyway, she may be running for Congress. I'm not kidding. This is apparently a thing that may actually happen. Trisha Paytas running for Congress in 2026 in California. Let's listen to her video and let her talk us through her thought process here. And I have a lot of thoughts. As somebody who does love me some Trisha Paytas, but thinks she belongs nowhere within 10,000-mile radius of Congress. Still though, she couldn't be that much worse than some of these fools. Anyway, let's watch.
And finally, I would love to be more philanthropic. I talked about in the podcast today, a little spoiler alert, I guess, is I like don't mean it as a joke, and I know it sounds so crazy, like to me too, but I think it's like so doable. Is we can watch the podcast tomorrow and I'll go more into detail about it, but I really would love to run for House of Representatives here in California. We have 52, and I would really love to run for it. They have an election this year, November 3rd, 2026. And I do have some bills I would like to present to Congress.
Oh my God. Guys, I really want to hear all about Trisha's bills that she has to present to Congress. I mean, listen, she does stunts. She is a troll. She would admit that. And so I have no idea if she's serious. She says she's not joking. I don't put a ton of stock in that because she does do stunts and trolls. But if she actually ran, it would be kind of hilarious. She wouldn't be a serious candidate. I think she'd have to run as like a write-in candidate. But it could be amusing, entertaining, I don't know. And in a serious world, we deserve serious people governing and running and in our political class. But since we're governed by clowns anyway, for the most part, they might as well be like fun clowns. I don't know. Maybe I'm just nihilistic, but that's how I feel about this. Let's keep going here.
To Congress. So I'm working on that. I really want to be able to like truly make a difference because I see so much horrible stuff happening in the world and right here in California as well. And I'm like, oh, there's nothing I can do. No, there's nothing I can do. I can run for office. And I wholeheartedly like really wanting to give my all for that.
So this is an interesting point to pause on and reflect on because most people don't know this, but actually most members of Congress have very minimal power. They barely get to do anything. It's just a few members of House leadership in either party that control basically all decisions and legislation. It is a deeply broken system, and individual members have very little power or authority to actually affect change. And that's why, well, I totally don't think she should be a member of Congress. She doesn't know anything about anything, and she has very liberal ideas for the most part, so I wouldn't support her regardless. But more so, like, if you actually wanted to make a difference, and I believe she's genuinely like a kind person at heart, so I do believe that she does. running for Congress would be like the worst possible way to do that. You'd actually be much better served by opening a business, working with a charity, spending money to make a difference in your community, or if you were going to get involved in politics, even running for state legislator, you can make a much bigger impact and difference because it's not as broken and controlled. But I don't think she knows any of that or really anything about politics, which is another reason she probably shouldn't be the next member of Congress from California. But guys, let me know what you think. Comment, subscribe, like. Please do consider becoming a channel member to support the show. Help me stay independent so I can punch left and punch right and call out BS and just give you my honest perspective without having to pander to the YouTube algorithm. You will unlock full ad-free early access to episodes of the Brad vs. Everyone podcast. Become a channel member now on YouTube down below. Hit the join button, link in comments, description, all that to support my work. Now let's keep listening to Trisha here.
For that. And also just, physically giving back more, like visit children in the hospital or feed, unhoused people or people who need meals. Like, I would love to either organize something on my own or go be a part of something. I'm currently Googling how to run for Congress in California 2026, and it takes me to like this PDF. Requirements, fees. It looks like I have to get, as a write-in candidate between February 9th through March 6th, I need to get the documents from election officials, get 40 to 60 signatures. And
her baby's so cute.
Any candidate can get signatures. I wonder if I can get e-signatures. Can I do it online? Do I have to go?
Oh my god, that's the most influencer coded thing. She's like, can I do it online? No, you cannot get e-signatures. They have to be actual signatures, Trisha.
Person to person. The idea of me being representative for the state of California came to me in a dream, in a vision, if you will. It's so vivid to me.
Well, guys, it came to her in a dream, and the dream was vivid. I'm sorry. I'm trying to take this seriously, but I just can't. I love my messy white women, but when they start doing the like manifesting and dreams and all that, it's not a thing. It doesn't mean anything's going to happen. Delulu is not a Salulu. Hope is not a strategy, whatever you want to call it. I find that whole like strain of woo-woo white girl thought, I find it very silly. But I do find it entertaining. And is she serious? Like, I really can't decide if she's trolling us or not. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think. Are we being trolled? Let's keep watching.
I like so many people are just like watching the world just crumble little by little, but I'm not giving up hope. I'm a mother with 3 kids, and I really have a generation alpha and a generation beta, and they really need a better world and a safer world. And I see things all the time like, how do I stop this? What do I do? How can we make a difference? And it's like, I need to get a bill to Congress. There was like just a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Is she singing this like Schoolhouse Rock song about, I mean, I would love to give her a civics test on camera. The results would be bleak.
We need to get the bill to Congress and pass the bill. So, first things first, start in California. My main goal is to make it adult work not be legal until you're 25. That's one. But I have so many other.
So I was actually kind of confused by this because there are 2 possible meanings of this that you could interpret. One, and I know it sounds crazy, but she is silly like this. I almost interpreted this as her saying it shouldn't be legal to have like a real job, like an adult job until 25. But when I looked into it a little, she may be saying an adult work as in like sex work, like pornography or that kind of thing. Because she has spoken about how she was pressured from a very young age to go into that and she finds it exploitative. And listen, I guess she could try to push that, but I'm not sure that's realistic or is going to happen. And on the long list of problems in our society, I don't think 22-year-olds doing that is it. Like, she's talking about preserving the future of the country for her children. I don't know. That seems like a pretty marginal thing to have as your first bill if that's your concern. But I can't believe I'm actually unironically discussing what bills Trisha Paytas would be submitting to Congress. Like, this is not real life.
Other agendas. And now that I'm looking into it, I think it could actually be possible. We have 52 representatives here in California. I have a good social following, so it's like my demographic too. But I need to get a move on because March 6th is the cutoff for signatures, and I need to get on it. I never thought of myself as a political person until I started having kids and realizing like the world could be just so disastrous, dystopian for real by the time they get to be adults. So I was like, all right, Trish, enough just like shutting it out, being ignorant. A lot of it was
Okay, so this is a totally understandable and human way to feel about stuff. And I know a lot of people felt like this, like, oh, I didn't care about that much about politics. Then I had kids and I became worried about their future. And that's a valid way to feel. But just because you're worried about their future and you care about it doesn't mean you know anything or have any actual solutions or should be the one calling the shots. That's the problem here. That's why this logic doesn't get me on board with Trisha Paytas 2026. You know?
a lot of it was protecting my mental health. Like I do spiral when I see really dark and depressing things, but getting a hold of my mental health means being able to not only deal with my emotions and spirals and triggers, I need to start dealing with like the world.
I'm sorry, but if you spiral easily when you see dark and disturbing things, a career in politics is not for you, babe. I'm sorry. In Congress and in Washington, D.C. That's not going to go well for you.
I'm going to start my state. And I really think my slogan for running will just be like, California could be good. It could be good. Just need to figure out a better system for everyone and everything.
Well, let us know, Trish, when you figure out that better system for everyone and everything. We will be eagerly waiting with bated breath over here for your insights. Now, I do find it funny how she's talking about how her main focus will be like how to fix California or make California. You know that you're talking about running for Congress, which is about the federal government setting federal policies that apply for the whole country. And obviously there's some relevance and tie-in on different things to California. But if you were trying to fix California, running for federal office isn't the way to do that. You see how she doesn't even seem to understand the basic levels of civics of how government works, yet she is, I still think maybe trollingly, but maybe not, suggesting she should be given some kind of governmental or political power. Like, I understand the nihilism of it all, like the towns that elect dogs as their mayor, right? That happens in crazy small places, or other things where the message you're really trying to send is that we're so dissatisfied with this supposedly serious people that run our society that we're going to intentionally elect or send a message that this is all a joke. And maybe there could be some kind of momentum behind Trisha as that kind of a candidate. But I also think we should actually discourage this. We should discourage influencers and celebrities from also pretending to be politicians and pretending, or activists, and pretending they know what they're talking about when they don't. We should encourage people to stay in their lane, and that also the best way to make a difference is not necessarily obsessing about national politics. It is improving your community and helping people, especially when you have the financial resources and connections that somebody like a Trisha Paytas has. That's my take on the situation, but I want to hear from you guys. So let me know in the comments whether you're on board with Trisha Paytas 2026. Maybe she needs to skip Congress. Just wait for 2028 and run for president, because that's what we do now. We elect celebrities as president. So it'd be entertaining. I can promise you that. You guys let me know what you think. Make sure that you are subscribed, hit the like button, and please do consider becoming a channel member to support my very important work, like covering Trisha Paytas 2026. Oh boy. Oh boy. What a wild, wild world we live in.